mate. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to another Sunday episode of Software Explorations, hosted by yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Let me get this on the screen to get us started off. We are gonna do boom. There we go. Tech Coach Ralph, engineered to win. There is nothing else that we are engineered for. We are engineered to win. And you know what? Winning can be defined on many different levels. You have to define what your victory is, right? And you go for that. Don't let other people define what winning is to you. You define it, and then you go out there and you crush you go get your victory, all right? So shout out to that. All right, let me get up our agenda. All right. So today we are going to be going through Terraform. And my plan for today in Terraform is that we are going to. So, what I want to do is I want to pick up where we left off last week in the sense of I'm going to pivot just a little bit because it's not that realistic that we're going to be taking a we're not going to be using Terraform to run a particular script like we did last week. We are more likely going to use Terraform to set up that AWS instance where we would have the Selenium grid started up on that, right? So what we want to do is take that we're starting up the Selenium grid, and then we want to take one of our existing scripts. I'm going to use the Uber Eats project that we did, and I'm going to refactor that to use the remote driver, so we can send that instead of running it locally on the computer. We're going to send that to run on the EC2 instance that's running Selenium Grid that we configured through Terraform. All right, so that's going to be the plan for today, and then we are going to get into that remote state that we referred to last week that we didn't get to. And we're going to set up the remote state for Terraform in S3. All right. So that's the plan for today, but we'll get into that a little bit more. Let's first go through our agenda. So first and foremost, I want to thank all of the newest subscribers to the channel. Thank you guys so much. I'm happy that you're by you subscribing, it shows that you're finding this content valuable, and I am happy to continue to add value into your lives. So shout out to all the newest subscribers. And of course, salute to the tech barbarians who are working hard every day to get better, to grow. And, so they're putting in the work because they want to see changes in their lives. They want to be successful. and they want to level up their technical skills. So shout out to the Tech Barbarians. And if you are interested in becoming a Tech Barbarian, check out the Patreon. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, and it is in the description. So check out the Patreon, and there's different tiers. You can even sign up for free. I haven't put any content for the free subscribers yet, but I will at some point once I have some time open up. But there is content where how to update your resume, how to update your resume, what questions to ask when you get that question, because they always ask in the interview, do you have any questions for us? And then we always we don't really know what to ask, and sometimes we end up asking pretty insignificant questions, pretty dumb questions, and that matters, right? So what questions to ask that will make you stand out from your competitors? So check out that. And there's so many, and I'm always thinking about new videos and new ideas. So check out that. Check out the Patreon, and then if you want one-on-one coaching, there's also an option, a tier level in the Patreon as well. So check that out. Spots are limited for the one-on-one coaching. All right, so definitely check that out before it's too late. And now, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know when we go live, so you can know when there's a new video that's released. Like the video, share the video with somebody who can find it useful, or maybe you don't think they'll find it useful, but you never know. Share it anyways, right? And when I say like the video, feel free to dislike it as well. I don't really care how you feel about it, as long as I know that you are watching it and that you might not get value in it today, or you might think that I'm wrong, but maybe you'll come around. But if you do disagree, leave me a comment or let me know in the chat, and we can go from there. We can have a discussion. I by no means am I the sole authority on anything. I would love to have a discussion, and then we can, we can come to an understanding, come to agreement. Maybe I don't see something in that you do, and then you can share that with me, and then you can help me grow and you can help me level up. All right. So I am totally open to collaboration. As you saw, working on the cybersecurity panel a few weeks ago. I'm open to working with anyone to just to help each other so that we can all grow. Which, talking about collaboration, right? Right now, I plan to bring someone up on the at the beginning of the show on Tuesday, so they can share an event that they got going on I believe it is November 16th from 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. Eastern time. But I will share the details of that on Tuesday when they are up on the panel, and I'll have them come probably up Tuesday, and then maybe one more time before the event, so they can give more details about what they're going to be sharing. But just wanted to give a a little intro to it. I am looking forward to speaking to this person to find out more about them and what they are going to be sharing on their event. So I'm whatever I can do to help each other to get some exposure to share your events. By all means, you are welcome here. All right. So that is the plan for that. Okay, now let's get into the live show schedule. We have Sunday afternoons, software explorations. We are trekking our way slowly but certainly through Terraform. I was trying to get to one more section of the class, but had meetings come up and stuff like that, so I wasn't able to get that for today. But next week we will certainly get into that. So Sunday afternoons at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have software explorations. We are currently going through Terraform. Tuesday nights we have our Q&A session. Remember, I just said this coming Tuesday I should be bringing someone up on the panel so they can share about an event that they are going to be conducting, right, free of charge. And if you're interested in learning about that, definitely sign up for the event, and you'll have more details on that coming on Tuesday. But we're going to be answering questions. I make it available that you can call into the show and we can have a conversation. You can be on screen or off screen, whatever the case may be. We can have a conversation, and I can answer your questions, whatever it is that you want. And then we have our questions that we source throughout the web, where we we answer whatever questions that you might not even know that you had, or if you have questions in the chat, we answer those as well. Whatever it is that you need, we will find a solution for you. And then we have Thursday nights, more software explorations. we are going to continue going through Cypress because I was very, very, very upset this past Thursday that what I was working on did not work. And I started to go down the rabbit hole of figuring it out. But I said, you know what? No, let me not do that. Let's try to figure it out together and see what went wrong. And that way you can see how I do my research. Because like I said, I am that was my second time using Cypress. And, that was like my third time doing automation using JavaScript. So it is what it is. I don't care. We're here to learn. In Jiu-Jitsu, we have a saying, you either win or you learn. And by golly, I've been doing a lot of learning these past few months, but it is what it is. So let's continue to get after it. All right. So shout out to the live shows. Once again, Sunday afternoons, 2:15 p.m. Software explorations, Tuesday nights, 7:15 p.m. Q&A sessions, and Thursday nights, software explorations going through Cypress, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have our pre-recorded show content where we have Mondays, Candid Conversations, Wednesdays, Software Explorations, and Fridays, the Bug Bites. So Mondays, Candid Conversations. Tomorrow, it's going to be about time management and why we don't get anything done. So tune in for that. And then we have on Wednesdays, we're going to be finishing up Docker part 3 of our diving into Docker series. And then Friday, the Bug Bite, we're going to be talking about the Okta, somewhat of a security breach. Unfortunate event, but it happens. So, how do we properly vet our customers or our vendors, to be honest, right? So shout out to the live shows. And throughout the week, I have the clips from the Q&A sessions in bite-sized, digestible pieces so that you can get the information you need, because sometimes you can't sit through a 2-hour show to get the answers you need on Tuesday nights. So I just cut them up and I make them available to you. All right. So that is our pre-recorded content coming out Monday. We have something every single day for you. All right. And then, I almost forgot because I did not have it on my agenda. So this past week, I sampled out going live early in the morning. By early, I mean 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we were just reviewing some news articles. But what I am going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:15 a.m. for about 30 to 45 minutes live stream, we are going to get our minds warmed up by doing what I plan on doing one news show or one news topic, and then we get into our coding challenges, right? That is the plan. Because we need to stimulate our mind. We need to, the same way that we go to the gym, or that we should be going to the gym, or just doing some type of exercise, right? The same way that we should be doing that, we need to, we need to stimulate our mind. We need to work, right? So we're going to be doing our coding challenges, and we don't necessarily have to complete them, but we will have to, we'll have to work out our minds, right? Do mental exercise. So we're going to be doing our coding challenges. So this coming Monday, right? Or not only Monday, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we will try to complete the Code Drift Challenge using Python, brought to us by our good friend Don at Chaos Camp, where we are going to pretty much, there's 3 branches, right? Dev, staging, and production branch. And there's like the code drifts between the 3 branches. So we need to figure out what's going on and go from there. So I will introduce the challenge tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. And we will go from there. And we're going to work. I'm going to set the timer, and we're going to try not to go any further than that, just so we can get the juices flowing for the day, and we can get going, and that's how you continue to get better you continue to level up. All right. So that's going to be, I call it coffee and kata. I might be saying it wrong, but why do I call it coffee and kata? Coffee with a K, to be honest, because coffee and so let me see. Let's see how it's pronounced.
Kata.
Kata. It's pronounced kata. And what is kata? Kata is a system of individual training exercises for practitioners of karate and other martial arts, right? So the reason that we call it coffee and kata, because although we're not using it for karate and other martial arts, it's individual training exercises for practitioners of, QA, coding, software engineering, web development, whatever. But we are doing these little exercises so that we can continue to get better and grow. All right. So shout out to the newest morning show. Hopefully that if you're up early enough, you can make it and you can hang out with me on the morning show. So that is the plan. So, just at this point, the only day that I'm not going live would be Saturday maybe, but I guess I have another announcement. I spoke about it like a few months ago, right? I am working on, so a friend of mine, he has a charity organization or something like that. And he needs me to make the website for him, right? So anybody out there is interested in learning how to create a website with WordPress? So what I'm going to do, because I told him like the only way that I'm going to be able to work on this is if I do it live. So what we're going to do is it's probably going to be Saturdays maybe. I have to figure out the exact time, but it's probably going to be Saturdays where I will be live streaming and like going through setting it up in WordPress, like using DreamHost, which is my hosting provider. Using DreamHost, how I'm going to install the WordPress software onto actually, so I think it's already installed on the domain, right? But I'm going to install, so it'll have the WordPress software installed, and then we're going to install the template, and then how we go through and install how we go through and configure the template and add in the content and all of that. So if you are interested in learning how to create templated websites or setting up templated websites in WordPress, you will definitely want to tune in so you can ask questions, or you can watch after on your own time, and you can also leave comments with questions and things like that. Whatever the case may be, right? I will definitely if you need to reach out to me, you will know how. All right. So that'll just be just about every single day that we're going live at this point, right? Because I make myself available to you, so you can ask me any of your technical questions or your career-related questions, whatever the case may be, and we will win together. Because
the only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Exactly. I am addicted to winning. But at the same time, I define what winning is to me. All right. So what do we think about that? All right. So that is the plan that's our plan. All right. That's just our plan. Okay. So let's get to, so I already mentioned, if you haven't done so yet, check out the Patreon. I'm sure there is something in there for you. But at the same time, if there is any requests for content as well, I can make that for you. You whatever you ask, I'm going to find a way to work that in and get that there for you. Patreon members get top priority. But if you someone asked me the other day on a comment like, hey, I see the what do you call it? The building a QA portfolio, right? Are you able to put that in a playlist so we can get all of them together? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. So I added that to my to-do list, and we will get that working. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because it's a lot to manage, but I have a list of all the things. I use like a little Kanban board of everything that I need to do, all the requests that I get, and I just manage it like that. What's to do, what's in progress, and what is done. All right. So that is all. And one more time, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. share the video, like the video, or dislike the video, whatever. I don't, whether you like me or not, I don't care. The only thing that I care about is your growth and your progress and your success. All right. Whatever you think about me, feel about me, I don't really care. I just want you to win. All right. I just want you to win.
I mean, you know, all we do is win, man. You know that.
Exactly. All we do is win. Okay. So now here we are. Let's see. And one more thing I wanted to mention. I was on a call and somebody asked me, so with your coaching, right? After I get a job, like do we go our separate ways or like does it end? And what I said is this was my response. Actually, that's when we're just getting started because now we know what we have and and then we can start to strategize how to maneuver and where do we go from there so we can be as successful as possible. When we're trying to get the job, we're just like trying to see what we can get, right? But once we are in that position, now is where we start to leapfrog and we start to strategize and know, okay, these are my options. This is what I could do. This is the industry that I'm working in. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do so that I can now seriously improve my resume, seriously improve my skills. So my goal isn't even for you to just get that job. It's like getting the job is a tool, right? It's a tool where we are going to take that job and we are going to maximize our capabilities so that we can use that as a jump off, right? Where we're going to take that where we can leapfrog from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. It's just one opportunity, and we take that opportunity and we multiply it. So shout out to that. That was an amazing question, and I was so happy to be asked because once we get a job, that's just the beginning, all right? And the sky is the limit. As Biggie said, the sky is the limit. And I wanted to. So before we get started, there's two things that I want to do. I am going to bring LinkedIn to the show, and I want to acknowledge the chat. Okay, so let's see here. So I want to say hi to B Peace. Hello to you as well, and to DB Darrow. IOC gang in the building. What up, Daryl? Thank you for being here. It is a great honor and a privilege to have you in the chat. And to the one and only Lee Ann. How are you doing, Leanne? Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat as well. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to do is, all right. So this is how we're going to work, right? We're going to let's put it up right now. We're going to put 20 minutes on the clock and we are going through doing that. We are going to start going through our Terraform, we're working on. So what I said we are going to do, right? I'm going to backtrack off of the doing the whole Python installation in the script and everything like that. What I want to do is I just want to start up the Selenium grid, and then we are going to go into our automation code that we used like for our earlier live stream where we were automating going through Uber Eats. We're going to refactor that code so that we can set up the remote driver on that, and then we can see if we can run our code on our recently set up EC2 instance through Terraform. All right, so that is the plan for today. And then after we get done with all of that good stuff, then we will work on to see if we can do that remote state. So the Terraform remote state backend file inside of S3. Okay, so here we go. So we have our timer up, and now before I go on, I am going to bring in LinkedIn to the show. All right, And then we say start on LinkedIn. Okay. And go here. All right, we are live on LinkedIn as well. Welcome to all my people on LinkedIn. It is always a pleasure to have you on the show. So I always start on LinkedIn, like right when we're about to get into the implementation. I keep certain stuff on YouTube and well, I keep pretty much everything on YouTube, but I want to like only go directly into the implementation work on LinkedIn. And if you're on LinkedIn and you want to see the entire show, you think that'll be helpful, then I can start streaming at the beginning of the show. But I just like to be very particular about the things that I put on LinkedIn. So that's something that's something to think about. If you have any thoughts on it, leave me a comment on LinkedIn and I can see where we can go from there. All right. So shout out to the people on LinkedIn who are tuning in as well. And let's go have some fun. All right. So let's show how look at that. Don is here on LinkedIn. Welcome in, Don. How are you doing today? And I also apologize, Don. So, I don't know if you heard, Don, if you heard what my plan is for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, although it is not going to work on your time zone because it will be way too early. But I do plan on live streaming in the morning where we will be going through different code challenges. So this week I'm going to be going through the code drift challenge that you have on Chaos Cap, just to start stimulating our minds early in the morning so we can be even more productive at work. All right. So this is how we're going to do it today. Okay. Let's put this up. We have on this screen right here, we have our AWS console, right? And then on this screen right here, we have our PyCharm, but I need to open the Terraform. One of them. Not that one. Okay. Okay. So we have our Terraform here, and I have so what we're going to do, we're going to set up this. We're going to run our, we're going to set up our instance again, right? And then we're going to use, one of our projects that we did from before to refactor it so it can run on the AWS instance that sets up the Selenium grid. All right. So let's get back over here and we are going to get our timer up and running. And
it's time to do.
All right. So let's go. All right. So first things first, let's so we're going to update our script to take out, because this worked last time. It only failed when it got to here because we would probably have to do some configuration with the we would have to do some configuration with the way that it was working, right? So this would work for this particular use case, right? You would want to use this way because you'd want the Selenium wire to be also like the script to be running from the server. But I think the more likely scenario that we're going to have is where, just comment these out. The more common scenario is going to be where we stop here, and then we can set up our automated test to run from like wherever, right? And we just direct it to that EC2 instance. I don't think in our Terraform, like, which you could do it in this very particular use case, but I don't think we want our Terraform to have like the actual script. I think we want to set up the infrastructure so we can trigger our scripts from. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is open up this can. Right, let's just go with.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
All right. Okay, so we've commented that out. And so we are going to do Terraform apply. And we're going to say, yes, we do want to apply. So what should happen in this case is it's going to set up our Terraform, or it's going to set up our EC2 instance, and then it's going to do the Docker part, and then it's going to set up the Selenium grid. And then from there, we should be able to access that Selenium grid with should be able to access that Selenium grid, and it should give us the URL. Yeah, so we'll take that URL for the Selenium grid, and then we're going to apply that to our other script. And what I might even do is use the one that we also did in Java to show both of them running through our infrastructure. Because with the infrastructure of our Selenium grid, then the goal is going to be we should just be able to send any type of traffic. So I might even do it with three different methods, right? Doing the through Python, through Java, and then through when we did the codeceps.io one. So we're gonna see. And you'll see the power of how fast it is to set this up. And then you can see all the different type of traffic that we can send to it. And it can take some time to do all the setup. Another thing that would be really cool to do, which I was thinking about doing, maybe we'll do that as well, right? For instance, we could take one of the Chaos Camp challenges, right? And we can add that to our EC2 setup script where we are using Docker to set up, like, let's say the web UI automation or the API one, right? Maybe I'll do that. So let's do this. We'll pivot just a little bit, right? Let's get let's get it to. We're going to set up another EC2 instance, right? Or modify the same one. Who knows, right? But we're going to do that where we can also have it set up the rock paper scissors challenge API, right? And that way it'll be a good showing different things that we can do with the Terraform and the infrastructure as code. All right. So now we have everything set up. The question though is, so if I do Terraform plan, let's see if I get The only thing that something that I want is the public IP for this server, right? So let's do a quick Google search. How to find EC2 address from Terraform or created by Terraform. Okay. I mean, I know I can go in. I was just wondering. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to get it through here, through like the script, but I was just thinking if there was a quick way that I could find it. But if not, I can just get it in from the console. So this is like how to fetch public IP of newly launched machine using Terraform. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll try this next time. I'm not going to stop it and start it all over again just to do it this way, but I can, because I know I can get it through here, right? So let's go to instances running. Go here. So now, if I was to take this right here, and I go to here and I say 4444, I should get the running Selenium grid, right? So now, if we take this and if we go to here, so let's do a get. Let's do a get status first. Everything is up to date. So get checkout -b for branch, and we are going to name that. What do we want to name? So we want to name this. Let's do Terraform course, and then live stream. And today is the 11/5/2023. Okay, so now we have that. We have this branch created. And we want to, let's do a Google search. So I'm going to look up the Selenium remote driver because that's how we're going to make it work using the grid, right? So we're going to click on Python here. So this is how you do it. Command executor, this URL. And this URL right here is going to be the URL of where the Selenium grid lives, right? So let's copy. So we're going to, not even going to copy it. So because this options is going to have to be the Chrome options since we're using Chrome. If you're using Firefox, then it would be Firefox options, right? So let's go and do this. So we're going to start off with Chrome options equals web. All right, and now we're going to say driver equals remote. And then here, command executor, and that's going to be the address of here and 4444. I think so it'd be like WD hub or something like that. But we'll be all right for now, because if it fails, then we'll just figure it out why. All right, so now we are going to say options. So we don't even need this anymore. Options equals Chrome options. And then we close out this little close out this. All right, cool. And let's get our spacing correct. So now when I run this, it should run on our grid. So let's see what happens. Drum roll, please. And we're off. So we should have it popping up here if all goes well. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Lookity here. Lookity, lookity here. And using the using this, well, failed, but that's because they changed the text, of course. But you can see that you can make the updates to your site here. And then you can run it on the AWS EC2 instance that's running Selenium Grid installed via Docker. So I want to see it get further than this, right? So let's go and okay. So I think we made the updates in Java the other day. We can also make the updates in. I just thought of something, but it wouldn't make sense because you wouldn't have it automated in 2 spots. But what I was thinking about is like, what if like these selectors it was using, it was able to render them in Java or in like it was able to handle it whether it was being called from Java or it was being called from Python. So we have a nice little page object that we have here for Python. Let's go to home, find food button. Let's fix this real quick. Let's say it's just search here. Oh, file here, run it, and you see how easy it is that when we use the page object model that we can make changes. I didn't have to go into like I didn't have to make any changes onto the actual Uber Eats test case. I just had to go into the page object model, make my changes there, and then keep it clean, you know? So here, if I get out of this, here. Let's see what happens here. Shout out to Damien, who just got off of work on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Welcome to the show, Damien. What's on today's agenda? Great question. Happy that you asked. So, we are working through Terraform today. So last week I tried like the use case that I did, it's possible, but it's not realistic. So last week what I did was I set up everything for like through the script to go and install GitHub or install Git, pull in a repo from GitHub and try to run the test from there. But that's not very realistic when using Terraform because we want Terraform to be infrastructure as code, right? So what I'm doing this week was I backed the changes out of from last week, and I went and took a old project that I used so that we could refactor that and have it run on the Selenium grid that we're setting up via Terraform. And that's what's on the screen right now. Is it trying to go through? It's trying to go through Uber Eats, but it's getting stuck somewhere. But it is doing like what we want it to do for the most part. But yeah, so and this is a real use case of what Terraform setting up the infrastructure as code. One thing that I do need to do is in the Terraform code is to output the public facing URL of the public facing URL so that I don't have to go into the AWS to get that. So and I'm sure that it can be done. But yeah, so that's where we're at. That's what today's agenda is. I don't know why it's getting stuck here. I think something might be wrong with the XPath, but that's not a big deal. So the key is that we are able to send our test to the newly created EC2 managed grid, and that is a very important goal indeed. Probably having trouble clicking on this thing over here. And the good thing about the newer version of Selenium is that you do have access to using like the latest and greatest technologies, and you can see what's actually going on. And that's one of the reasons that I like the grid a lot is that it doesn't take up all the resources on my computer, and I can also see what's going on. But something weird is definitely happening on my scripting side. But what we're also going to do while that is doing its thing over here, I am going to open up.
I appreciate you.
What? Who do I appreciate? Who do I appreciate? Let's see. Let me see what we got going on here.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
And time is up. It is time to get to break. Solomon, welcome to the show, Solomon. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. All right, cool. So, we will. I don't know what it did, but what we're gonna do is let me see where this thing got stuck. So I'm looking at this screen right here, trying to see where it got stuck here. Sometimes the remote driver takes some time for it to let it go. but it is what it is. And but that was the part that I really wanted to show, right? I wanted to show that it was able to it was able to set up our infrastructure, and then when I went and I sent a test to it, it was able to get it. So that's what's important. So what we're gonna do in our next go round is I do appreciate you, Solomon. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Move this over here. All right. So what we are going to do, we're going to go on break, and we are going to look for jobs, see if there's anything in the chat. And yes, thank you to Solomon for subscribing. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull up LinkedIn. And a reminder for those who are on the East Coast and they are up early in the morning, whether they're hitting the gym or they are, reading the news, getting a cup of coffee, whatever the case may be. If you're available, tune in to the morning show so you can see how we go through these chaos camp challenges and see what's going in the news. So like maybe tomorrow I see a topic for case against performance reviews. I would really love to hear about that, or daylight savings, economic impact. Maybe we'll do two articles. Who knows, right? But we will definitely check some news out, and then we're going to get heads down and go into some coding. So let's it would be like 7:15 a.m. to maybe like 7:15 a.m. to 7:45, 8-ish in the morning, because I do have to get to work. So maybe around that time. That's the time like I have it scheduled to start. But it'll be about 30 to 45 minutes. So if you are up and available, feel free to tune in and have some coffee with me in the morning. And we will do some kata, which is some, practice getting better every single day. All right. Because the goal is 1% growth every single day.
We the best.
Yes, we are. Okay. So let me find. Let's see here. Let's look for. What type of job should I look for? Let's go for. Let's do some QA research. QA. Let's go Q. Let's see if there's anything on their QA tester, and we'll look in Central Florida or let's say Orlando area. And let's put up our 5 minutes on the clock for our break. And we will go to this screen. So what do we have for QA positions in Central Florida? On our next break, I will be looking for QA jobs in Columbia. Is it Columbia or Columbus? Something like that. Columbia, I think. South Carolina. We'll look for some jobs over there as well. So what is this? So this is a QA analyst specialist. Entry level, allegedly. They always say they put entry level, but then they want like 10 years of experience. How about that? I need to get the soundbite for Cash Me Outside. That's going to be the next coming soundbite because I already got this one, which I truly enjoy.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
But the Cash Me Outside, that is another classic. So we have responsibilities, manual testing of IE, childcare, next gen, and ServiceNow application, contribute to test plan definition, create a test scenario and data, execute test cases, troubleshoot issues, support UAT and tracking testing progress and results, support UAT end to end, collaborate with different teams to take it to closure, ensure successful completion of UAT, functional testing, manual regression, blah, blah, blah. All right. So this does look like a very nice entry level position, and it is on site, right? So, and this is why there is only 94 applicants, right? Because if this was to say remote, right, there would be like 600 to 1,000 applicants. I guarantee it. Why do I say that? Because the thousands of people scattered across boot camps are looking for positions like this, right? But this is a great opportunity. They say that they would like a bachelor's degree, but that's a nice to have, right? But all of these things, they are like they're very good. And here's another little tip, right? Even if you are a QA, like let's say you don't have that much experience in actual QA, right? But you do have experience in this thing right here, like the childcare next gen and ServiceNow application, then they're like, because you have that type of experience at least there, and you are learning about QA and stuff, then it's a little, they might have more grace, right? But a lot of times when you don't like, let's say you don't have any familiarity with childcare, right? Whatever the next gen thing is, let's say you don't have any familiar with that, and you're like totally new, no experience, then that becomes a little bit more difficult so you have to, I'll give you an example, right? Let's say you were to work in like insurance industry, right? Then when I'm suggesting like what type of positions to apply for and stuff, try to see if there is any QA positions for like an insurance company, because then you can leverage your knowledge of insurance, right, to the position. So like let's say you don't have that much experience in QA, but you have knowledge about insurance. So then what you need to sell is, oh, my background in insurance can sell, like it can help the process of like I know what works for, and so I know what to look for in testing and stuff like that. And then you use your background from another industry, like because a lot of times, like especially in these boot camps, right, when they do your resume, they totally wipe out your previous experience. And I think that's a huge major problem, because you need to leverage your experience in whatever industry you're coming from. And I recommend try to find a job in a similar industry, right? But just doing like the technical aspects of that industry, right? Whether you're doing software engineering, web development, QA, cybersecurity, but try to find a job in your similar industry so that you can show that I have knowledge and I can provide value while I come up to speed for this like particular technical position, right? So that's like, so those are the strategies I try to
move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
Rude. So yeah, so like I was saying, right? Those are the strategies I try to implore you to use. That don't go like, if you are here, so let me go back to full screen, right? If you're here, right, don't try to go all the way over here. So if you have a bunch of knowledge right here, right, try to find but you want to do QA, web development, whatever the case may be, right? So try to go over here, right? So that your industry is not so different than what you know, and then you can use that knowledge of your industry so that you can add value, but from a different perspective, right? So now you can start doing, okay, let me start working on the software for my industry, and you can share that knowledge, and that you're not like totally new to a whole other aspect. And that way it's an easier way to sell. And then once you start getting that knowledge, now you can start to go in any direction possible, right? So think about that, right? When you are applying for positions, try to apply for positions that are similar in industry from what you're coming from, although now you're just trying to gravitate to a more technical aspect of it. All right. So shout out to that. All right. So we are going to get back to work. Give me a second. There is some banging that's driving me crazy over here. So what we're going to do is go here. I will be right back. All right. I am back. I had to take care of that. That banging was driving me crazy. And I have OCD multiplied by ADHD and all those little abbreviations. And I could not concentrate. I'm like, all right, I got to go find out where that banging is coming from. And I have to stop it. But that is now taken care of. And we are back and good to go. So that means we are going to. So what I'm going to do, I'm opening up. So let's put up another 20 minutes on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right. And I'm going to, so we saw the first one work, and I'm going to open up another software. IntelliJ. So I'm opening up IntelliJ, and I'm going to set up another, let's do, I think this one already has. If it doesn't, then we'll just refactor it, right? And Leanne said, great tips. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
But yeah, so like I was saying, right? The main idea is when you're pivoting careers, don't make a sharp turn, right? Don't do a 180 or a 90-degree, whatever it is, right? Like you want to try to leverage the information that you have, like the knowledge that you have that you've acquired from like because you've been working in a field, right? And you want to leverage that information to use that into the other positions that you're going in so that it's like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about, and they can actually help with. They're actually going to be bringing value from another perspective. Like, okay, like the number one thing you want to answer is, how are you going to make this better? Okay, all right. So I have. Let's see. So let's go to this one, and this project. Let me get this off the screen. All right. So this project was it's a project that I did like for it was a technical project. Did it for web restaurant store. I think I spoke about it before, but let's see what we have. So this one is like has a full framework and everything, right? But we want to go to this test case right here. I don't even know if it's still going to work because this was like back in January I did this project. But we want to go to so I don't let's so right now let's just go through this real quick. Let me see. What do we have in here? Just need to see where it does it have the remote? So it might be more effort to do than the other one. I'll probably use a different project then. Let me see. I could probably just do it in here though. Now I'm gonna use a different one because this one I'd have to like write some code to say, all right, run it either local or remote, and then I'd have to do a bunch of setup. But I do plan on what we do plan on doing is extracting this framework to make that on in its own framework, and then you can pull in my framework if you're using Java, pull that framework in and use that to facilitate your automated test. But what I do plan on adding to this one, because this one already has it has like where you can choose which browser that you want to use, right? But we do want it to also add to it whether you want to run it locally on your machine or you want to run it in the on a grid, like run it remotely, and then you can run it through. You can send it to Sauce Labs. You can send it to Browser Stack. You can send it to AWS Device Farm. All of that, right? So, but we're not going to use this one for now because it would just be like this. This isn't the purpose of the show to do that. So we're going to close this project, and I'm going to. I think I could do it this one actually. So this project was a live stream where I was showing how to do the data provider, right? What I did was I created a form, like I just found some form for basketball tryout registration form, and then how we were able to take a bunch of different inputs, and I think it's down here, right? So we did two. I did two users that are filling in the form, but we could have that in like an Excel sheet, a CSV. We could have it on a Google sheet, and then it'll just pull in the information. But what we're going to do, that's not what's important right now. What we're going to do is we are going to take this part of it where we are going here, and we're gonna do the remote driver on that one. So what I'm going to do, and whenever this happens, right? Whenever this happens, this is what happens on the show, right? And I have to go to full screen for this. And we're going to go to this comment right here because I stopped the show for this person. Diego says, the best engineer I've ever met. You know, Diego, every time you're here, I stop the show for you because I really appreciate Diego. I had the opportunity and the pleasure of working with this Salesforce expert. he might say that I'm the best engineer I've ever met. He's the greatest Salesforce, add whatever you want behind it, that I've ever met, right? And he is so smart, so talented, and it has always been a pleasure to work with Diego. So thank you for being here, Diego. And ever since Diego moved away, my jiu-jitsu competitions haven't gone the same way that they used to. I might have to move. Maybe that's what it was. All right. So, in T ways, thank you for being here, Diego. I appreciate whenever you pop up. I know you are very, very busy, but you are the man. All right, enough of that sentimental stuff. Let's get into the code. All right, so Andio says, so welcome to Texas. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, do I have it on this? Oh, there we go. All right. And all right, so we are here and we are going to just implement this into our basketball tryout form, right? So what we're gonna do though is we are going to go to this screen, and you already see what we're gonna implement. So I'm gonna create another branch, right? Git checkout B, and we're gonna say this is gonna be let's say Terraform Livestream 11/05/2023. All right. And we go with that, and now we have this, and now we are going to say in the setup test, before the test, we're going to do Chrome options equals web driver. Oh, I'm still looking at. All right, so I need to use Java. So all right, so this is Java's a little different. So we need to do here Chrome options equals, or not equals, but Chrome options equals new Chrome options. All right. And then we need to do new remote web driver and then new URL. And then we need to copy from, well, I can just get it from the AWS, but it's the same thing that we did from on the Terraform one, on the Python one, but we're going to copy this, and it's going to be here, and then 4444. Just do CPS, and we need to import URL or add exception, whatever. Let me see what's going on here. Do that as well. No. Why is it acting up? So, oh, wait a second. So, and then we need to close this with Chrome options. Okay, there we go. And then we need to close that. So now if we run this, we should be good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to check here. So now I should be able to trigger this, and that should run inside of my Selenium grid. So if we go here, and this should go to that form that I created. So here I have my session, and nothing is running at the moment or queued. Here I have the code that we're about to run, and I didn't change anything on the website, so it should be fine, right? So let's trigger this off. And starting, and let's go here and see what we get. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. And it could be that the instance size gets stuck because, all right, so this failed, but let's see why. Could not start new session because invalid address or remote startup failure. Let's see why. So let me see if I refresh this page. Well, that's still up. Could not start up a new session. Possible causes are invalid address of remote server or browser startup failure. That shouldn't be the case. Let's try running it one more time to see why that failed, because it should have worked. But it could be that the server is not strong enough to run it. And we might need a bigger instance size, which if that's the case, we can just go and we can do a plan to tear down Terraform. With Terraform, we can tear it down and put in a bigger instance, and then we can go from there. So let's see what we have. Same thing. Setup test, remote driver. Let me make sure this is working. If I go here, and then we go here, and let's paste this in here. Oh, that didn't work. Why not? So let's see. Let's copy this here. And let me take a look at, no, that's fine. So if we go back over here, I wonder if I have something wrong in the way that I copied this. Let's go to, oh, there's no S. It's not a secure one. So, okay, fine. I fixed it. So now let's try to run it again because that might be the difference maker. Okay, so now let's go to, so then now that's doing something. And now we have a session. If we go here, we go here. And now it should go 2 times filling out the form. Look at that. Oh, wait, go here. And let's say we go here. Steve Harvey, all of that good stuff. And look at that. I don't know where all these users are coming from. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I'm loading the data from a CSV file. So let's take a look at that CSV file while it's running. So here, test data, CSV. There's like 5 instances of it, right? And it ran everything. And if we go here, it says that there is nothing else that's queued, right? We go here and it shows us that all 5 tests ran. So we just used our Terraform setup, right? So let's look at it real quick, right? Let's look at it real quick. I want. I want this one, and I want. All right, so a quick recap, right? So we had our script where we search for Docker, we get the info on Docker, we install Docker, and then we add Docker to our EC2 user, and then we install Python, although we didn't really need it. We install Docker Compose, we enabled Docker and for the AMI boot, and then we did a start the Docker service, and then we run the Docker container for Selenium Grid, right? And if it was something like a little bit more complex, then we could do the what do you call it? Like a Docker Compose file that's setting up Selenium Grid and all that good stuff, right? So what let's see what we can do. We can do one more example of this, right? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to close down this one because we saw this working, right? So let's go with. Thank you for making a guest appearance into our show, IntelliJ. It was very much appreciated, but you may take the rest of the afternoon off now. But what I do want to do, I want to bring in WebStorm, bringing up special guests to the show. And I am going to look for the Concepts project implementation. And we are going to. So Concepts was a live stream that we did where Concepts like uses some sort of AI type stuff into its They can use AI, right? So what we did was a test where we were testing it out, right? But what I want to do, I want to use this to show how, with our infrastructure as code, we can have all types of different tests being sent to the grid that we set up through Terraform. So we had our tests in Python and like our Python automated test. We had our Java automated test, and now we're going to work on sending our code steps using WebDriver.io to the grid. All right. So because we did it back then, but it wasn't through Terraform and it wasn't through a grid on AWS. So what we're gonna do, we're going to find it here. Where do they have that set up? I don't remember 100%, but I think it's like in maybe package.json or something. Let's see. JS config? No, not there. Concepts config. WebDriver, browser, Chrome.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
I don't remember where they did it. Let me see something. I would like to have this run over there, but it's been a while since I used this, and I don't exactly remember where they set up the WebDriver to run remotely. and I don't think it's worth looking that up today to get that to work because I do want to use Terraform to set up like a before we get to the remote state. I do want to set it up to start up a chaos cap challenge, right? Because the reason that I find these challenges are important is because the thing that I care about the most for you guys is that you have talking points for your resume and for your interview, right? So now, let's say you're just getting into QA, right? And you're trying to land a position. So now you have Terraform listed on your resume. You have API testing. You have Docker, all these type of things. And now, like the person, like, dang, they don't have that much experience, but like they use all these different tools. Like I need to figure out like what's going on with this person, right? So now you take that and now they want to talk to you because your resume is very intriguing, although you don't have that much experience, right? So now they bring you into interview, right? And now you're talking about it like, yeah, so I use Terraform to set up an EC2. Like you have AWS listed on your resume, right? You might not be AWS SSA certified and all that, right? But it shows that you use AWS. You know about the EC2 instances. You know about the IAM roles, all of that, right? And now you say that, yeah. So I wanted to do this challenge at Chaos Camp, and like, oh, what's Chaos Camp? Okay, Chaos Camp is a GitHub repository where they have a bunch of challenges that like it stimulates real world QA experiences, real world software development experiences, and then you have to solve these challenges so that you can resolve issues, you can put out fires and all of that. You can stop the chaos, right? Stop the madness. That's how the cookie crumbles, right? So yeah, so I used AWS or I used Terraform to set up an EC2 instance on AWS, and I installed Docker on that AWS instance, and then I did a build of that to get it running on an EC2 instance, right, via Docker, and then I was able to I was able to do the challenge and solve it and everything like that. But I pushed it to the limit by doing it on an AWS EC2 instance that I set up via Terraform and a Bash script, right? A Bash script that I was able to get all this stuff done, right? And imagine like just me saying that, I'm like, man, this person is pretty cool. Like they are very creative and they really push themselves, and I would want to work with a person like that. It's not always necessarily about the experience. It's about what type of things that you do that makes you stand out and sound appealing and say, yes, this person will add value to my company. All right. So let's go to full. I do not see the looking. I remember we did it right when when we were doing the live implementation, and they had some type of grid set up. I just don't see it though. So I'm willing to leave out the web storm for now. Maybe next week we'll revisit it if I can find the project that I saw it on. But I do think it would be pretty cool to send that to the grid. Maybe I'll just revisit. Like maybe I'll look into it a little bit more during the week to find out where that was being set up. Because I do think it would be pretty cool to run that in the grid. But whatever. So we can move on from there. And we are gonna go to break, and we are going to look for some more jobs. And I'll look for one more job in Orlando, Florida, and then I will move on to South Carolina. And we are going to put our 5 minutes up, and we are going to go to this screen. So let's see what else we have here. QA test automation consultant. This one is remote. Only 89 applicants, believe it or not. That is a bit surprising. I don't know. So operational effective effectiveness consulting. I don't know what that means, but oh, okay, that's probably why it doesn't have that many applicants, because it is you need to have the ability to obtain a secret clearance. Well, I guess this one isn't specific to Orlando, Florida, but whatever. I don't even feel like looking at this one. So, okay, manual QA tester, remote. Okay, this one's, you see, over 100. I figured, right? So I'm not even gonna. Let's go to, okay, test engineer. Red 6, Orlando, Florida. 1 day ago, 69 applicants. Minimum 5 to 10 years. Jeez. 3 years in software development, 3 years of experience. When they say 5 to 10 years, they're probably looking for like 2 to 3, to be honest with you. Like if they can get 5 to 10, see, because there's so many different factors that are involved in here, right? So 5 to 10 years mean they have a salary range of this, but let's say you have 2 to 3 years of experience, maybe 3 to 4, then you might get a lower salary. But you know, they're always like companies, like if you can show value enough, right, and you can get your resume to show that you have value, and that you bring value, then you can actually push it a little bit more. So an on-site, 32 applicants 1 day ago, manual software test analyst. Batch, they don't really care about that. What you will need to know: knowledge of application development, software testing, and quality management, manual QA testing, experience with writing test cases in Rally or Jira, ATM debit routing experience, EFT simulator test experience. Nobody has this. Like, come on. Nobody really has that. Experience with IBM hosted applications, RPG, Java, Angular. This for entry level. I think this is a good entry level position. You know, a lot of the things that they're asking for, nobody really has that. So, I would say though, go research it on YouTube and find out about this ATM debit routing experience and EFT simulator tool. And maybe there's like some type of application that you can download or whatever to play around with it to get some type of experience. But I would say like go like this is definitely an applicable job for anyone, all right? But let's pivot to South Carolina, and I'm going to search for SDET in Columbia, South Carolina. Is that it? What is the location in South Carolina? Let me see. Oh, Columbia, South Carolina. Not Columbia, South Carolina. Okay, my bad. All right. So we have, let's look for hybrid. On-site and hybrid. Not many. Okay. Does anybody? Let me see something real quick. Population of Columbia, South Carolina, 137,000 people. All right, what is a major city close to? Major city close to cities nearby. What is a city? Is the capital city and second largest in South Carolina. I don't know. So let's see what jobs in general are in Columbia, South Carolina. Radiology technician, West Columbia quality. What's this? It's a tough one. See, and like when I'm looking for jobs in these regions where I'm like totally not familiar with, I am not familiar
Get a
with
move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
I am not familiar with the United States, like with the different locations. I am familiar with South Florida, and that's about it. Let's see here. But and that's the thing about like the remote positions. See, they're going to, I don't know. That's a tough sell. Well, who knows? Who knows at the end of the day what type of positions they have in this location? But guess what? It's time to get back to work. Gotta do some more research on that. Because like I was saying, right? When if you get in like on-site or hybrid, and then you can try to work with your employer to get remote. And if you really want remote, right? While you're working in an on-site or a hybrid position, continue to apply for other remote jobs, but don't turn down an opportunity to gain more experience because you are like, don't let, how does that saying go? Let me just look it up real quick, right? So the saying goes, don't let good be the enemy of great. Is that how it goes? Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right? Um, Sometimes you gotta have to take a good job or not so good job just so you can work your way up the ladder to get to where you really want to be. All right. All right. So now let's move on to. So we're going to pull up a chaos camp challenge. Let me see. I want to pull up. Let me go and. Mm, all right. So let me find a chaos camp challenge. And what we're going to do with that is we are going to. We're going to set that. We're going to use that challenge on Terraform so that we can set it up so we can have like a web server started or something like that, right? So I'm going to do, which one should I do? Let's maybe do the API challenge, rock paper scissors challenge, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to set up our timer.
It's time to do.
And we are going to go to this screen and we're going to take, hey, look at me here. Ah, look at that. We're going to go to this rock, paper, scissors challenge, right? And what we can do is we can actually, so I am going to go to, so we're going to do the way to set it up, right? We're going to, and we're actually going to end up using like what we did last week, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a separate EC2 instance for it. And we are going to take, we're going to pull in the repo and then we're going to do Docker build, right? This rock, paper, scissors challenge. And then we're going to do Docker run. And then we're going to access it on this location. We have to make sure that we go. So we're going to have to manually go in and open that port in AWS, but that is fine. And then we can make sure if we can see the Swagger documentation, then we know that it's up and running. Okay. So that is the plan for now. And we are going to go to our screen here. And let's go. All right. So we're going to close out this right here. And we are back over here. So I'm going to make a copy of this EC2. Right. And we're going to say EC2 CC chaos camp and then rock paper scissor challenge setup. Right. And we can add that here. And we are going to go. So what I'm going to do, because we are done with the Selenium grid, I'm going to do a Terraform destroy. So we can tear everything down. And we're going to type in, yes, we do want to destroy it. And down goes Fraser. And so while that's doing its thing, we are going to go into this and we're going to say, we don't need this one anymore. We do need Docker up and running though. We are going to install Git. And we are going to Git. We can make this directory. We can go into that directory. We are going to clone the rock, paper, scissors challenge. So I'm getting that over from here. And we're going to go here, clone that. And then we are going to go into this folder. And then we do not need to check out a branch for that because it's on the main. So we get this out, get that out, and now we are going to install the requirements, which are in the, or do I need, no, actually I don't need to install the requirements because we are going to use Docker for it. So what we're going to do is just get rid of this right here. And we can get rid of this. We can get rid of all that. So let's say this is Livestream from 11/05/2023. And we are going to do, we're in the folder. We're going to do build Docker image. So I'm going to put I don't know if, well, we'll just put this command, right? I don't know if I'm going to need to be like root access to do it. We're going to do that. And then we are going to go and start it on port 8080. So run Docker container on port 8080. All right, so now before we do anything else, we are going to go to our EC2 instance and we will see if we have port 8080 open on our security group, which we do. Look at that. We already have it open. So we do not need to do anything else with that. So I wonder why we had it open. Whatever. All right, so we are going to, now we're going to update our instance and we're going to say, do the script for, I can copy the name of it. The file name, and we're going to do just this right here and just this right, or you can't see what I'm doing. So what we're doing is we are updating our instance.tf to say use this script instead and use, this is the destination for the script. And we are going to update the permissions on the script. And then we are going to run the script. All right. And I think that is everything that we need in this case. Everything else can stay the same. Running it on T2 micro, all that good stuff. All right. So now I'm going to update the name of the instance as well to CCR rock paper scissors. Okay, so now we have a. So now the goal is that we should be able to access the API or the Swagger docs on port 8080 after it sets it up, right? So Terraform. Let's do Terraform plan first. And it is going to do all that stuff that we mentioned. So what it's going to do in this instance, right? It's going to create an EC2 instance with our key pair. Give it a name of I just call this TCR Terraform Chaos Cap rock paper scissors, and it's gonna do the script for it. It's gonna copy the script from here, and it's gonna put it in the TMP EC2 CCRPS challenge.setup, and it's gonna it's gonna run the script, or where it's going to change the permissions on the file. Then it's going to do this thing that I don't remember what it's doing, and then it's going to execute that file. All right. So let's get to it. We're gonna do, and inside the script, it's going to update yum, search for Docker, get the Docker info, install Docker, change the permission for EC2 user to be able to execute on Docker, and it's going to install Python. Do we install Python in this case? I don't think we need to be honest with you. We don't need Python. So that'll save some time. It's going to install Docker Compose. It's going to enable Docker service. It's going to start the Docker service, and then it's going to install Git. It's going to go into the folder, create a folder, go into the folder, clone the rock, paper, scissors challenge, and then we're going to go into the rock, paper, scissors challenge directory. And then we are going to build the image, which then it's going to run the container on port 8080, which we should be able to access the API. So let's get the show on the road.
They ain't believing us.
Terraform apply. And we are going to say, yes, indeed. And we are off and running. So if we look at instances here. So it's going. So it's connected, doing all its stuff. So the key is going to be to see if this part right here is going to execute without having to need root permission. Because I'm sure if it does, it's a configuration on my end that it's not using the EC2 part. All right. All right, look at that. So Unicorn is running. So it did it, right? Unicorn is running on port 8080. So now let's see if we go to let's find our running instances. So something is still happening there, but it looks like something is up. So let me see. The dashboard. This is running. So while that's doing its thing over there, we're here. And we can see this right here. Oops. That. So we click on that and we can go to this one. Let's say we go to 8080. What do we get? All right. So that's fair. Something is not found. Oh, because we didn't do detached. That's why it's still up, right? That's I'm gonna blame Don on this one, right? I'm gonna blame Don. So what I'm talking about is here. I should have added like the dash D to run it detached so that it could get us back to, because now it's probably just gonna be stuck on creating, right? Because it is like that. But whatever. We can I can shut it down and bring it back up if I have to. So what we're doing here is so let's try to access the documentation because we can see that the server is up, right? So /docs. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna do /docs. And so look at that, right? So there goes the documentation. So now if we go back over here and we were to let me open up a an API tool. I'm opening up Insomnia and we are gonna go to whatever. This is annoying. Let's see. So the Insomnia tool now is a bunch of stuff. What is this? This is annoying. I just want to use the software. Let's see here. All right, here we go. So let's go to, let me move this to here. And we will go to, and I'm gonna do, so this is called Insomnia. It's like Postman, but I don't know. I haven't used it in a while, but I see they're adding a whole bunch of new stuff to it, which kind of is annoying me, but whatever. Let's go to new request, and we are going to go to, and we're gonna go to here. So we need this one right here. So let me see. Can I copy this? If I copy that, what do I get? Nope. What I want. So we're going to copy this and API/play. So now if we take this to here and we go here and we do API/play, we should be able to get a couldn't respond to the server. But why, I ask, but why? So let's go to here. Why would it not able to connect? Let's say we do here and we try it out. Oh, let me see. So that works. So why was the other one not able to connect? close this out. Let's close this out. Oh, because I didn't put port 8080. Genius in the building. All right, so send method not allowed because we need to be sending a post request. Another. All right, so it says missing information. So let's look at the documentation again. And the request body needs to have a choice of 1, 2, or 3. And I would assume that the 1, 2, or 3 is rock or paper or scissors. So let's copy this right here. And we are going to go into Insomnia again, and we are going to put a body of JSON, and we're going to go here, and we're going to send it again. And it says that your weapon was rock, the computer's weapon was paper, and the computer wins. However, the goal was to use Terraform to set up an application, right? So think about it this way, right? If I wanted to make this challenge available to, or not even the challenge, the game of rock, paper, scissors, right? So we take this game of rock, paper, scissors, and then I could build a front end on it, right? Where you could play rock, paper, scissors against the computer, and I would have just set it up through Terraform, right? And now the whole thing is set up through Terraform, and the API is up and running and everything, and then you could do whatever you want through there, right? So this right here is an example of using infrastructure as code, where we use Terraform to set up the infrastructure, and then we also were able to deploy the application using Docker. And we used through our script, it used Docker to deploy the code to our EC2 instance, you know? So shout out to that, and shout out to Don as always. For his amazing challenges, all right? So just wanted to show that, and now you have a little bit of insight as well
Lunch break! Lunch break!
You have a little bit of insight on, so now you have some insight on Insomnia, which is pretty much the same thing as Postman, just, you know, different features, although they're moving closer towards, from what I'm seeing here, they're moving closer towards the way that Postman works. But you have, so now what did we do today? We had exposure with Terraform. We had Terraform. We had Selenium in Python and in Java, and we had both of those send their request to our Selenium grid that is on that we set up through Terraform on AWS EC2. And then we also use one of the chaos cap challenges to set up we use Docker to set up the challenge, and it's running on that AWS EC2 instance, which is set up through Terraform. So now imagine in an interview, you are articulating that clearly of why this, like what this is on your resume, and what did you do? How did you integrate and combine, like, how did you do all of this where you combined Terraform, you combined a Selenium script, you combined Docker, you combined Selenium grid, you combine doing a Docker build and running a Docker container. Like, all of this stuff is, I'll tell you this, there is no boot camp that is teaching you how to do these things, especially as someone who is learning QA and who is facilitating their own testing, pipeline, and strategy. No one's going to teach you that, right? But those are the things that is going to wow them, and that's the thing that you want to have on your resume. Though having those things as skills and stuff on your resume, that's just what's going to like put you across the finish line. All right. So what we're gonna do, we are going to go to break, and then when we come back from break, because we pretty much got everything done, right? So when we come back from break, we're going to work on that remote state. All right. So look at that. That was amazing. All right, I'm gonna shut down some applications, and I'm gonna put. So we are going to do. All right. So, and while we're on break, right? I remember when, and here's the thing that always, you know what? I might just use a break for this, right? So we can have this little conversation, right? But I remember when people wanted to start working remotely, right? And I don't, I work remotely, and I love working remotely, right? But here's the thing: when people would move, like I remember there was a time like so many people were moving to to Georgia, right? And not necessarily even through like a populated area of Georgia. They might move to like some remote, get a lot of property and stuff like that. And they'd be working remotely. Some people moving to the Carolinas, whatever the case may be. And the thing is, because you want to get a lot of property, you want to live in an area that is like quote unquote remote, right? But then I was always like, what I always thought about this is I cannot put my trust and faith into a particular company, right? Because what happens when they no longer need you, right? When they no longer need you, and now, even at the time, there weren't like that many remote positions, right? But when that now, like everyone wants to work remotely. So now when they no longer need you, and now you have to go apply for a remote position, and we can show an example, right? Let me put the time. Why didn't I put the timer up? Right. So let's go. Exactly like David said, when they release you, and now you're trying to find another position, right? You're trying to find another position. Let's go to remote, and we'll do United States. And we'll do, let's just use for, I don't know, let's say full stack developer, right? So now, right, they release you, and let's go to here, right? So they release you, and you're looking for another position, right? And LinkedIn, they updated this because they don't show you. I think you need to have the premium that they'll show you like how, exactly the exact amount of people who applied for this position, right? So what happens is now you are going to apply for another position, but it's going to be a lot harder because you came into the company that you're working for, working like on site or hybrid or something, and then you said, oh, like because they had a good relationship with you, they know that you're going to do your job, they're not really afraid of anything like that. So now what happens is you say, okay, I want to work fully remote, and they approve you, and you go to God knows where, right? And now they no longer need you, and they release you. They lay you off, or what? At the end of the day, it's you got like they no longer need you, right? Like as Damien said, they release you, and then you're in this remote area, and you're trying to find a remote position, but it's so much harder now because there's 600 people applying for it, right? And how do you stand out and everything? So that was one of my fears, right? Of moving away from an area that if I needed to, I could easily just go and find another position, right? That was one of my fears, because would it be nice to have a bunch of land and, be somewhere else? Sure. But I was always worried that, okay, if there is no like technological hub, right, where there's like a district where if I have to, I can just go in person and work over there. If I'm in the middle of nowhere, then what's gonna happen to like what am I gonna do? How am I gonna take care of myself? How am I gonna take care of my family? So that's one of the things that kept me in place because now if you can't find anything and now you have to move and now you have to upend everything and move to who knows where and it's like you're almost restarting, right? Because as we can see, it is not easy to get a remote position anymore. Maybe a couple of years ago, everyone was hiring, and it was not too hard to get that remote position. But nowadays, they want you back in the. A lot of companies want you back in the office, right? Or at least they want you to be hybrid. They want you to come in a few times a week. But if you are not physically there and you're competing with a bunch of people, what are you gonna do? You know. So I think that is something that we all need to take into consideration. Um, a lot of times, what we believe is going to be best for us, it might be best for us right now, but that's because we are putting our trust in the hands of a third party. And at the end of the day, that third party does have to do what's best for them. You know what I mean? They have to do what's best for them. So think about those when you're confronted with those decisions because there might be people putting pressure on you to say, "Oh, I want to move here. I want to do this. I want to do that." Oh, you work remotely and everything like that. But what about when things take a downturn? What do you do? And that's why I also recommend, and I'm happy that Damien is following along because Damien, we were talking the other day and he's interested in game development. He was asking about game testing and Don
Get a
said,
move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
and Don said, you know what, like if you go into game testing, then you might end up hating gaming, right? Go and like learn how to be the game developer instead, you know? And the reason I bring that up is because while you have stuff that you do for Damien says game designing, even better. And even with that, like, even with the game designing, I would say as well, learn about the development and all that aspect as well. But the reason I bring that up is you need to learn how to do many like different things, and even you don't have to be an expert at it, but you need to have the general idea so you have the ability to pivot to this part, to that part, to this part, and everything like that, right? And that's the reason that like I love learning all these different things because I want to have like so many different avenues that I can just boom, 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 and then I can also leverage those things, right? Because I could say, okay, let me go on wherever and let me freelance and doing some Terraform stuff. Oh, like the same way that I'm helping my buddy with the website that we're going to have like the series where we are configuring WordPress to install a template that we bought and setting up the website that way and the content that way where you guys can follow along. It's just the thing is don't don't put your eggs in one basket, right? Become very, very good at something, right? But then always have lanes that you can pivot to and have different and that oh, look at that. Damien just joined the Patreon.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Damien. it is going to be well worth it. Start taking a look around, and if there's any additional stuff that you would like to see, let me know, and I will make that available to you. All right. Shout out to Damien for joining the Patreon. But like I was saying, right? Learn different things, right? Because I'm a QA engineer. I love doing QA engineering, but I also love learning these different things and how I can leverage that to help me in the job that I do day to day. But how I can use it to help you guys, how I can use it to just do different things, right? Like I always recommend, right? As a QA engineer, I think you should learn all of these things, right? Because especially like learning full stack web design, right? That is going to make you understand what you're testing better. Learning software engineering, that's going to help you understand what you're learning even better, right? So take that into consideration. Continue learn the basics of QA and everything like that. Learn automation and stuff, but then start learning these different softwares, these different industries, and then you'll see how your testing abilities they become even better. All right. All right. So for the last 20 minutes before we wrap it up for today, we are going to get into the remote state. So what I'm going to do, I am going to stop this Terraform, because the reason that it didn't stop is because we did not have the detached on this. So I'm going to add a -d on there. And so next time we run it, it'll run it detached. So then it'll say that this is done, but we are going to shut it down right here. And we're going to do form destroy. Hopefully that works. If not, I have to do, gosh, darn it. Okay. Let me see. How did I do this last time? Let me try it again. All right, so let's see how we do this. Thank you, Dawn. Anyway, I'm just messing with Dawn. Let's do. He did not know I was going to do this, so this is all on me. All on me. So we are doing Terraform error acquiring the state lock on Terraform destroy. So and the thing is, right, you also get to see how I Google stuff, right? Because when I'm in need of figuring something out, how I Google it, and let's put up our 20 minutes, right? Because we are getting out of here. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's go!
That's not what I wanted. This one.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, let's go. 20 minutes up on the clock. And I need to know how to get out of that. Because I did it last time, but I don't remember exactly how I did it. Let's see. So we need to. So what is. All right, so we need to do. According to this, we're going to do Terraform force unlock dash force and the ID. All right, so let's try that. So we're going to go here. We're going to do Terraform force unlock force and then ID, and fail to unlock state, local state not locked. Try this again. Maybe. Okay, so let's see. If I do. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. So looking back over here, I ran into the same issue. So this person had a similar issue. I forcibly terminated apply process, which actually prevented me from acquiring log again. When it gets fail, it returns ID. With ID, we can unlock forcefully. Isn't that what I did? And they said I couldn't do it. Always something that has to come up, right? Terraform force unlock dash force and then the ID. But you're going to tell me that something. Right, so now we're going to Google the error that we got. Mm. Did this the other day. Let me see. Might be this one actually. Let's see here. Here we go. For Terraform, but it's something like probably this one. Everything removed, lock, and so so I am doing that, and now let's see. Terraform destroy. Let's see. Nope. I did this the other day. This is so annoying. That's because that thing did not stop. So, just Terraform. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, good night. I think I kind of remember what we did last time. We had to get the running processes. Linux list process, and we are going to use let's see here. And we are going to kill that and that. So now we're going to do Linux kill process. It's Linux. And as you can see, I am not by any means a Linux expert to remember all of these commands, but I know how to Google. Yes, I do. Kill process this one. And we'll go ahead and kill this process as well. I don't know. I don't know if I need to kill that one. So let's try to go back here, and we're going to do Terraform destroy. Nope. Oh my goodness gracious. For most commands, you can disable locking with the. So let's do lock false. Nope. Let's see. I need to write down how to kill this thing so next time can just follow it from there. So annoying. The following dependency selection. So let's do one more time. PS and didn't kill it. It didn't kill it. Hold on. So kill. Let's see. Kill 9. Something like that. Okay. So now let's do Terraform destroy. Nope. So we're gonna do just stupid. Very stupid. Let's go here. Terraform. And oh, kill. Yes. Okay. So now let's do Terraform destroy. Oh, no. God. Let's see. Where is this lock coming from? Copy this now. And we can go over to here. All because of one stupid thing. All right. Let's see here. Cashbacks. Terraform. All right. So Terraform. I'll just rename this. Well, that sucks. It's annoying. To make an issue dependency selection. Let's see what happens with that. Okay, so now let's see. Worst case scenario, I can just go and tear down the EC2 instance myself, but let me check here to see what happened. Yep, it totally messed up, but whatever. I'm going to go into here, tear down this instance because that is annoying. And terminate it. One little coding mistake, and then you have to go through all this nonsense. All right, terminate. So that's going to take care of itself. And now we can spend the last 8 minutes to start this remote thing. All right. So to do that, let me pull up my notes. All right. We are going to go to full screen. And we are, so we can, even if we don't finish the remote state, we can at least get started on it. And we are going to need to So what we're gonna need to do is go into S3. So let's go here. Let's go here. S3. So what is the remote state, first of all, right? So Terraform keeps the remote state in a file called terraform.tf state. So that would be this file right here, right? That is, or you can't see the file that I'm talking about. So it would be in this file right here. Before I share what's in it, let me see what's in it first, right? Okay, cool. So you can see it. So it has the version, it has the Terraform version number, a serial, a lineage, an output, resources, check results, whatever, right? But this is stored locally, and the reason that we would not want to store it locally is because when multiple people are working on the Terraform, it becomes a little bit difficult to manage, right? So there we can store it like on S3 or I think another thing called console, but we're going to be using S3 to do this, right? So what we're going to do is so it says when executing Terraform apply, a new terraform.tf state and terraform.tf state backup are created and updated. You can keep a remote state in version control via Git. However, but the Terraform state can be saved remotely using the backend functionality in Terraform. The default is a local backend, the local Terraform state file, which we're looking at right here, right? But other backends include S3, console with locking, S3 with a locking mechanism using DynamoDB, and then in Terraform Enterprise, which is a commercial solution. All right. So the benefits of using the backend functionality is it allows collaboration between teams. The remote state will always be available to the entire team. The state file not stored locally, you know, possible sensitive info is now only stored in the remote state. Some backends will enable remote operations. The Terraform apply will then run completely remote, which is enhanced backends. So to configure the remote state, we're going to add a backend code to the TF file. And so let's give it a try, right? So we're going to have to go into our S3. We're going to create a bucket. And we are going to name the bucket Terraform state and call it TCR and for our Z3, whatever, right? And we're going to use US East 1 and we're going to say block public access. And we're going to enable versioning because by enabling versioning, we will you can keep track of the changes that happen to the file. And if you end up not needing it, you can always turn it off. So we are going to create the bucket. Damien asks, what IDE do you think is best to use? What language are you coding in? And then I can actually give you a better answer for that. But it depends on the language. But I love IntelliJ, or not IntelliJ, but I love the JetBrains suite of products based on which language. But some people like Andrew will swear by VS Code, right? I am not the biggest advocate for VS Code, but I've used it before. So, but let me know which language which language you're coding in, and then I can make a recommendation for that. Okay, so we have our bucket created. We will need to. All right, so now go in S3, create a bucket, choose a region, enable versioning. So now we got to do AWS configure for our user. All right, do we have an AWS user that I can use? All right, so let's do this here And we're going to go C++. Oof, I am not entirely sure. I'll do some research on that, right? But if you're able to use Visual Studio, that's probably might be the best one for C++. I'm not, but I'll take a look and see if there's any other recommendations I can make for that. I'll see if JetBrains has anything for C++. All right, so now we are going to let's see. Let me see if I can find a user. I'm looking for a all right, so we have this. I use the Terraform one, maybe. I wonder if I have that anywhere though. Let's see. Weird. Oh, I know what to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up a terminal. And we're going to go here, make it bigger, and go here. We're going to do AWS configure. And it's going to ask us for an access key. And I'm going to take it from and not going to share my access key. We're going to go here. I'm putting it in. And we're going to put our secret in. And the region we're going to use is US East 1. And okay. So we have that set up. And we are going to do. So we got that set up. And now let's go back to the screen. And what's next on our list? We have to do
Lunch break! Lunch break!
all right. So let's wrap this up real quick, and then we will do. So we're gonna do Vim. Actually, I need to do it from here. We can say. Let me see. We can up, and that means the AWS key is going to get changed. But whatever. So we are going to do now back in .tf, and we're gonna do Terraform, and we're gonna say backend and S3, and then we're gonna go in here and we're gonna say bucket, and the name of the bucket that we have in Terraform, which is this. Copy that. And we're going to say key equals Terraform slash TCR 1105. And then we got that. And then we're going to go here. And now we got to do Terraform init to configure the backend in S3. All right, clear this out. And oh, missing the region. Okay, so the region attribute is missing, or the AWS region. Let's say region, and then I just hard coded in here for now. But could have got it from the other thing, region. All right, so successfully configured. And now if we go into here, we refresh and nothing is in here. Let's see. Terraform state. Well, we shall call that a quits then, because should have had it in here, but we shall figure that out next time. So next week, then what we're going to do, we will start off on, we're going to do next week. We're going to start off straight on the remote state to figure out why that didn't show up, because it should have showed up in the bucket, but you know, it is what it is. So we are here to learn, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll figure out the remote state, because we do want the backend file to be stored inside of our S3 bucket, which we're getting closer and closer there. We just have to do some modifications, configurations, and all of that good stuff, right? So without further ado, I think we are going to wrap it up. So I hope that you had a good time, because
I mean, you know, all we do is win, man. You know that.
And I really want to know,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
We the best.
yes, we are. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for this Sunday episode of Software Explorations. I hope you had a great time. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. Like tomorrow morning, we're going to do Coffee and Kata, where we are going to review maybe 1 or 2 news articles on LinkedIn. And then we are going to start our coding challenge. We're going to do the Python Code Drift Challenge, brought to you by Chaos Camp. So the link is so I already have it scheduled. Hit the notification bell for that video. Go ahead and already like the video, share the video with whoever, so that they can tune in as well. You know, up early in the morning before work, get your mind stimulated, right? So like this video, like that video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, let me know anything that you want, and we can interact, all that good stuff. Check out the Patreon. Damien just joined the Patreon. Shout out to Damien.
I appreciate you.
All right. And Damien, I will look into that, see what other alternatives for IDEs for C++, but I think you're in good hands with Microsoft Visual Studios. So that's it for this afternoon, folks. Hope you enjoyed the time change, and I thank you for rocking out with me. But it's time for me to go. It is time for me to go. Check out Kind of Conversations tomorrow. Check me out tomorrow morning, bright and early, live, as we do some coding stuff. And I will see you guys next week for some more Terraform. And I already changed that AWS access key, so don't think you're going to try to get one over on me, all right? So we are out for today. And until next time, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination. These are the very essence of our people. The spirit of our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the present pain, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth. And the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we're the masters of conquest.